Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Dolphins, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Eagles Super Bowl victory seals Anthony Weaver's fate with Miami Dolphins. For weeks, there have been questions about the future of Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. Super Bowl 59 answered them. The lone NFL team without a head coach is the New Orleans Saints. Ironically, the Super Bowl was played in New Orleans, giving ownership a first-hand look at their next head coach, and Kellen Moore did not disappoint heading into the game. Moore was the odds-on favorite to land the opening in New Orleans, but there were still questions. Those questions were put to rest after the Eagles played a nearly perfect game against a good Chiefs defense. Led by Moore, the Eagles put up more than 30 points offensively. They were methodical and consumed the clock, even with their top running back, Saquon Barkley, kept in check all night. For all intents and purposes, Moore won his matchup with legendary Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. That should have been enough to convince the Saints to hire Moore, and it's good news for the Dolphins, who could need Weaver more than they think heading into 2025. Weaver remained one of 3 candidates for the Saints' job, but it is now almost a guarantee the job is Moore's. That's good news for the Dolphins, who, for the first time in 4 seasons, will have the same defensive coordinator in back-to-back years. Under Weaver in 2024, the Dolphins' defense made great strides despite the season's outcome. Miami finished in the top 10 statistically and did so without top linebackers Bradley Chubb and Jaylon Phillips. The Dolphins' defense will take a hit this offseason with several potential free agent losses including Jevon Holland and Calais Campbell, but Weaver should be able to continue building a unit that is more physical, something the Dolphins need to improve upon. Miami will have as many as 24 impending free agents and could lose both of their starting safeties and 2 of their linebackers, Anthony Walker and Tyrell Dodson. Several defensive linemen are also impending free agents. It will be interesting to see where the Dolphins allocate their spending this offseason, and their draft could provide options as well. For now, the Dolphins at least know Weaver is going to be around to help make those decisions. One Dolphins player who could be surprise roster cut in 2025 offseason. For the first time in Mike McDaniel's head coaching career, the Miami Dolphins failed to make the playoffs in 2024. The Dolphins have clear issues to address during the 2025 NFL offseason, beginning with internal adjustments. Despite the disappointing result, the Dolphins will retain most of their key players. Except for Jevon Holland, Jordan Poyer, and Calais Campbell, each of the team's other stars remains on contract through 2025. The Tyreek Hill situation will be one to monitor, but the star wideout has since recanted his initial trade request at the end of the regular season. Even with the Dolphins not expected to trade Hill, their roster is due for an overhaul during the 2025 NFL offseason. Miami has one of the worst cap situations in the league, forcing them to remove dead weight from their roster if they wish to make any major offseason acquisitions. After 2 consecutive offseasons of uneventful transactions, the Dolphins are long overdue for a major roster-altering move. It is difficult to form a compelling argument against Miami's offense at full health. Their issue has been maintaining consistency. It is not just Tua Tagovailoa. Devon Achane, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Terron Armstead have also consistently battled injuries during their Dolphins' careers. Regardless, as talented as the team can be, running it back has not been a successful venture. Should the Dolphins' core remain the same, which it likely will, the roster still has palpable issues to address. Given their current cap situation, do not be surprised to see General Manager Chris Grier let go of a few veteran names during the 2025 NFL offseason. 9 years into his unique career, Raheem Mostert finally seemed to establish himself as a starting running back. He recorded his first 1,000-yard season while tying Christian McCaffrey for the most touchdowns in the league with 21. He was rewarded with a small pay raise signing him through the 2025 season. While the numbers were great, Mostert's problem was simply his age. He entered 2024 at 32, making him one of the oldest starting running backs in the league. Injuries, which have plagued Mostert throughout his career, also returned, limiting him to 13 games. In a move many saw coming, Mostert lost his every-down role to 2023 third-round pick Devon Achane. The 23-year-old split snaps with Mostert as a rookie in 2023 but fully took over as the starter in 2024. Achane played 62% of the team's offensive snaps in 2024, compared to Mostert's 24%. Mostert, who will turn 33 in April, has an even steeper hill to meaningful playing time after the Dolphins drafted Jalen Wright with their fourth-rounder in 2024. Wright sparingly took the field as a rookie but fits the mold of a McDaniel-led offense as a quick and versatile weapon. With a full season under his belt, Wright is primed to see his role increase in 2025. With Achane, and now potentially Wright, ahead of him on the depth chart, Mostert is nothing more than an expensive backup. Mostert provided more size than Achane in short yardage situations, but Miami has a plethora of other options to potentially sign to better suit that role. On a roster already full of bloated contracts, Mostert seems the most unnecessary. Releasing Raheem Mostert from his contract should not be difficult, given that the veteran has a potential out in the offseason. Should that happen, there would hardly be a better offseason for the Dolphins to seek a new running back. The free agency class includes a variety of seasoned veterans to complement Achane in the backfield. Najee Harris's tenure with the Pittsburgh Steelers did not go as planned, but he has the perfect size to be a bruising complement to a speed-based back like Achane. Harris just had his rookie contract expire and appears on his way out of the franchise 4 years after the Steelers used a first-round pick on him in 2021. A.J. Dillon, Nick Chubb, Alexander Mattison, Kareem Hunt and Dante Foreman are just a few other physical running backs who will be available for a cheap price. Each presents their own concerns, but none would need to be a lead back in the same positional group as Achane. Foreman and Dillon likely present the most affordable options as veteran minimum-level talents. Dolphins make decision on trading Tyreek Hill, report. The Miami Dolphins have reportedly made their decision on wide receiver Tyreek Hill after weeks of speculation that the organization was looking to trade the outspoken star. Per Dolphin reporter Alan Poupar, the hashtag Miami Dolphins, as we've suggested all along and now is being reported by NFL Network insiders, are not planning to trade Tyreek Hill. We do know where he'd like to go if it were to happen, though. Following the Dolphins' season-ending loss to the New York Jets, Tyreek Hill's future with the team became uncertain. After expressing his frustration with the disappointing outcome, Hill told reporters, "I'm out. It was great playing here, but at the end of the day, I gotta do what's best for my career, because I'm too much of a competitor to be just out there." His comments left fans wondering whether the star receiver might seek a change of scenery, especially since it marked the first time in his 9-year NFL career that he missed the playoffs. However, Hill's tone has shifted significantly in the weeks following the outburst. During multiple media appearances before Super Bowl 59, Hill took full responsibility for his earlier remarks, apologizing to both his teammates and the organization. "I do," Hill said when asked if he wanted to stay with the Dolphins during an appearance on FanDuel TV's Up and Adams. "I don't want to go nowhere. I love it here, my family loves it." Hill's public apology, combined with meetings between him, head coach Mike McDaniel, and general manager Chris Grier, seemed to have cleared the air and suggested that Hill would remain in Miami. For the Dolphins, this is encouraging news as they prepare for the 2025 season. Despite a less-than-remarkable 2024 campaign, 959 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns, Hill remains one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the league. His 2023 performance, leading the NFL with 1,799 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns, was a testament to his elite abilities. His dip in production during 2024 was partly due to quarterback Tua Tagovailoa's injury-shortened season. With a healthy Tagovailoa in 2025, Hill is poised to return to form. Despite the Dolphins' failure to make the playoffs, Hill remains optimistic about the team's trajectory. "We are really building something special in Miami," Hill stated. "We made it to the playoffs the first 2 years. Obviously, this year was hard, but if guys continue to buy into what coach is building and the culture he's trying to build, it's gonna be a beautiful thing." A key part of Hill's accountability came in the form of a heartfelt public apology to his quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. "This is my public apology to you, Tua," Hill said, adding, "I love you, bro." Hill emphasized Tagovailoa's competitiveness and leadership, declaring, "Tua, he's my guy. Always will be my guy, no matter what. I'm sure he understands my frustration. Like we all want to win. Tua, he's another competitor. He's a hell of a competitor. A lot of people don't know that. He's a winner. He's consistent. I'm looking forward to just us continuing to build our relationship even more." Despite the tension at the end of the season, NFL insider Tom Pelissero also reported that the Dolphins have no plans to trade Hill. They do not plan to trade their star wide receiver despite, let's call it an uncomfortable ending to last season, Pelissero noted. Tyreek Hill made the rounds on Radio Row this week saying, "Now I want to be in Miami." And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Tyreek Hill? Leave your opinion in the comments.